Hey, everybody, let's go ahead and get started with our next podcast.
So, Zach and I are very excited to talk about today's topic with Marvel is the most OP characters. We actually had a request to talk about this and thought it would be a really good, an analysis of all of the heroes that there have been from the base set to today and figure out who the most OP are. And on top of that, we actually found out that we probably should split it up into two categories. We're going to talk about the OP characters from the base set, and then we're also going to start talking about OP characters since then that have been added on from the expansion. Because as we were going through, we started noticing that there were actually still a lot of OP characters just from the beginning that, even with all the expansions, have managed to hold their own.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And the way we defined OP characters was, it was a little bit difficult for us to think about it because, I mean, there are so many good characters in the game that we use that interact so well with each other that have great synergy. But the way that we looked at it was, if you had one specific character, let's say, and you had one hero in the game you were playing as, and you were specifically using just that hero, and within that hero's card set, you could have an extremely good game or have high attack points or consistent deck, that would help to define whether or not that character was going to be seen as OP. So let's say, for example, if you have Thor and Lady Thor together, I mean, those, yeah, they work well together. But if one of them by itself works better, or just really well by itself, I should say, then that is going to be the one that we would define as OP.
And going off the fact, too, some people just like to buy the same hero again and again and again. So If you like to really buy that same hero, maybe he's an OP one and you're going to win the game no matter what.
Yep, or you should play that, what is that Fantasy Flight game, Marvel Champions? Right, because then you just play as one hero.
I can't remember. Like, we played that at Indiana when we went there for
Gen Con. Yeah. I'm still interested in giving it a shot. My problem is that I don't know whether or not I want to get into another deck builder. You know what I mean?
Right. The bank account's already getting stretched kind
of thin. Especially with the sets that are coming up. So, did you see the preview for the new set that's coming?
Oh, for Cosmos, I am so excited.
Oh my gosh. So for people that haven't seen it yet, some of the heroes that are going to be in it, we have Captain Marvel, we have Adam Warlock, which is somebody that everybody has been wanting for quite some time, which is going to be awesome.
Movie and card game. Let's be perfectly clear.
100%. Moondragon. Are you familiar with Moondragon? I haven't heard of this one.
Not much, actually. I am curious to see really what they do with this hero and really like just the backstory with it. And I think that's one of the things I like about Legendary so much is they're now starting to bring in heroes that we're unfamiliar with, and I have to start going to do research.
Yeah, and they're going with one of the original Guardians. They're going with Yondu. I hope they mix up the artwork for the Yondu and have like maybe two different types of Yondu in there, where you have like the old school Yondu from original Guardians, and then have like an updated version that people from the MCU may be more familiar with. That'd be kind of cool.
I could see that. I mean, I could also see them just picking one and going with it because they've done that before, where they just pick one of the characters' looks and stick with that. Like they did that with Nick Fury. They did that with Havoc. So I could see where they just kind of go one way.
They do that thematically with almost all the characters. I mean, think about it, how many different versions of Wolverine there are. We have Old Man Logan. We just have Wolverine. I mean, all these different ones, and they all stick to the specific theme that they have. So, and then the fifth one that they've revealed so far is Nebula, which I'm really excited about.
I'm super excited for Nebula. I like her history in the comics and the Marvel comics themselves is a lot more in depth and intricate than the movies give her credit for. Like, don't get me wrong, she does a great job in the movie, plays a pretty pivotal role, but the comics are where the real action is for her.
So if we're thinking about this is the medium box set, so it's very similar to the Legendary Marvel. What was it, Revelations last year? And it's going to be one of those that has 9 heroes in it, and it has more villain groups, more masterminds than normal. I think it's 3 masterminds, then you're going to have 4 villain groups as well. So what are some of your predictions that you think we're going to get? I think we're going to get, I'm hoping we're going to get a Black Order villain group.
I can see that.
Instead of a villain group, how cool would it be if it was a Black Order transforming mastermind, adapting mastermind?
Oh, where it's like basically every scheme or every mastermind tactic is a different member of the Black Order.
Yes.
That
would be amazing. How cool would that? That would be so cool. All right, now I'm going to be disappointed if that's not the case.
Right, now we've set the bar too high.
Exactly,
Thanks,
exactly.
Matt.
So,
Either way, though, I'm going to expect this one to be awesome if we're basing it off of how Revelations was, and Revelations was terrific. Like we had our box review podcast, and Revelations was our number one. So
yeah, I also think we're going to get Mantis as a hero, and maybe Nova, like the actual Nova instead of like the kid Nova, like Richard Rider.
My guess would have been an older version of Nova. Yes, I would have also gone with seeing Mantis. I wouldn't mind seeing another. This is just me doing wishful thinking, but some more representation from Inhumans, like those heroes.
Yeah,
like
that's wishful thinking because that set
made an appearance.
That set is still coming.
I mean, it is, but I'm not holding my breath considering we were supposed to get Eternals and then that got canceled.
yeah, it's coming soon enough. I hope.
Well, I could see this being as as like they give you one hero as just kind of a taste, like as a preview of what's more to come.
That would be kind of cool if they did that with future sets. Like they just kind of put like a preview hero in there for like a bigger box or something like that. That'd be kind of sweet. Almost like as a promo thing for a first run. That'd be kind of cool if we did Cosmic Ghost Rider as well. That'd be kind of cool.
I honestly, I would never have even thought of that until you said that. Ghost Rider, no offense to any Ghost Rider fans out there, is the farthest thing from my mind. I think it has something to do with the whole Nicolas Cage movie that tasted in my mouth.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot about that movie. Just him laughing and turning it like the flames turning on in his face. Yeah. That made me lose hope and that superhero movies would improve, but luckily they did. So, so a mastermind though that I see us actually getting is I think we're gonna get Ego.
I could definitely see Ego. I would be interested to know if they do if they bring in the Collector.
Ooh.
That would be kind of cool. Like, he wasn't really a mastermind in the MCU, but he could still be, I think it could be nefarious.
Yeah. Honestly, another one that I would really like to see, I would like to see an alternative Thanos that's not completely tied directly to the stones.
So a Thanos just being awesome.
Yeah, just another version of Thanos that's like a mastermind.
Yes, I could see that. Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So, but we'll see. We'll see what we're going to end up getting. But I'm really happy that they announced that additional set now that the Inhuman set is not going to be coming for quite some time.
You mean Eternals?
That's what I meant. Eternals, yeah, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, my heart wasn't really set on Eternals. I was still going to get it because, like I'm intrigued by the idea and the theme of Eternals. But I'm more excited for Cosmos now than I am for Eternals.
Yeah, and this medium box, they did a really nice job with it last year, so I'm really excited to see what they do with it this year as well.
Yes, it's like that box set that's not too large, like the big, huge, giant expansions like Dark City and Secret Wars, but it's bigger than the small packs where you're just kind of like, oh, I want more to go off of. It's a nice in between.
Did I tell you that I've been thinking about getting the Hobby Lobby cases for my legendary stuff now?
I do recall you saying that, and you will be buying them by yourself because I've already spent too much money on my own cases at the moment.
Yeah. So what I plan on doing is I'm gonna, if it works out, I'm gonna get 2 of those Hobby Lobby art cases, take all the stuff out of them, and then paint them the way you're like to look really nice, and then stencil them with something maybe like Cap's shield or something like that. So.
Ooh.
Could be pretty sharp.
That would be cool.
Yeah, we'll see how it works though. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started then. I personally think we should start with the base set stuff in terms of OP characters that we have.
I mean, the base set was the first set, so we should do it the honor.
Yeah, of course. So the first one that I have is going to be Black Widow.
Awesome. I also have Black Widow.
You have Black Widow as well?
At the same time. Of course.
Having the ability to have that uncommon card that allows you to count up, like add additional attack points based on the bystanders, and having cards within it as well that's continuously fueling the number of bystanders you have, giving you up to, like, if you're playing with 30 bystanders, let's say, up to a 30 attack card with one card is really, really good.
Not to mention, I think, on like one of her cards is, yes, if you play a tech hero, you rescue a bystander, but its base ability starts with drawing a card,
Yeah.
that's always a great effect.
Well,
So
exactly.
combining those two effects, really, really impressive.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was listening still. I was agreeing with you.
Oh, no, yeah. I feel like we're both on the same wavelength here.
Yeah, 100%. So, and I mean, in the last game that I played that I posted, I mean, I had one round where I hit the mastermind 3 times because of the fact that, I mean, Black Widow's uncommon card, I had 2 of them in my hand. And I'm like, well, I guess that's kind of game. So, and then if you add in all of the bystanders that you actually have, you can get like 60 attack in with one of those cards.
Right, and then also to add on top of it with all those bystanders, every bystander is a point towards victory.
Yeah,
so
that's
not
true.
only are you going to beat the mastermind, you're going to be the better hero.
Yeah, I never thought about that aspect because I never really have to worry about that part.
Okay. You and I are done agreeing on things now. We were in a good place there, and you just had to go and ruin it.
Yeah. All right, so what is your second one then?
My second one is going to be Storm.
Storm, really? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I got to look at Storm because that's interesting to me. Go ahead.
So I went with Storm because she falls under that criteria, in my opinion, of like that hero that you can just buy consistently on her own and still have an all-around amazing deck. Her basic or her common is you need another range hero for it, which of course is majority of Storm's cards, and it lets you draw a card.
Okay.
So it should be obvious by now, I'm a huge fan of the more draw power you have, the better your hand is, the better your game is.
Of course.
But her other uncommon cards or other commons are usually result in the reduction of attack points of villains. Yes, they have to be in certain spaces.
Yeah.
But if the villain's in the rooftops, you could reduce that villain by 2.
Yeah.
And then her uncommon, which is that covert where you can actually move the villain to a new city space and control where the villain's at, makes that card where you reduce the attack points even more versatile and more powerful and more useful.
Okay.
So I think that's why Storm to me is an OP character, because she truly encompasses that idea of you can just have her and she will be able to win the game for you.
Yeah, my only issue with her is that I don't think her rare is as good as some of the other OP characters that I have listed. It's decent in that it's a 5 attack and then the mastermind can get -2, but I mean that means it maxes out at 7.
Right. And I would agree with you, except for the fact that in this game, I have noticed that the rare is not always the winning card. Sometimes you don't even get to buy the rare, because there's only one of them.
That's true.
So,
yes. Thinking of it that way, it kind of makes me reconsider one of the heroes that I picked then, honestly.
You're welcome. I mean, I'm not discrediting the rare card at all, in the sense
but there's only one of them. Yeah,
there's only one of them. And going off of your point too, I think when we do our podcast, an episode, I think we've talked about doing an episode of like the most OP, like the best rare cards there are to get, or the must buy when you see them.
Yeah.
Storms will definitely not be on that list. I'll say that right now.
Oh, 100%. 100% agree with that. So, well, my second one, and these are in no particular order in terms of like the actual cards that we think are most OP, but they're just all really good. My second one's actually going to be Thor. Did you hear me?
So you're really going with Thor?
Yeah. I think that he is really, really good. The way that he can build upon himself to like increase not only the number of recruit points you have, which makes the game easier, while also increasing the number of attack points you have, I think that honestly he's a really, really good hero. And the fact of the matter is that with his rare, if you do pick up his rare, it makes the game really easy because you can use recruit points as attack points that turn, which gives you basically the bribe ability. And the number of cards that you have that have recruit points but also give you bonus attack points, it just makes it really easy.
I can see your case for that. The number of times I've just tried to buy Thor, it might just be my bad luck. He comes across as one of the more expensive heroes.
It's true, but if you can start to build them up together, then it really pays off. Maybe if you buy a Maria Hill once in a while, it might help.
I'm going to not even acknowledge that.
You won't even buy one now with the new deck?
I mean, occasionally I do,
I find I buy them
but
fairly frequently.
there are more times now that I'm buying in the Shield Officer pack. Yes,
Yeah.
you are correct.
Yeah.
I just still don't like Maria Hill. Nothing against her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my 3 points and I'm gonna go buy a sidekick. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Do you do the house rule that I do when you cut out some of the Maria Hills to make it 50-50 in terms of the new ones and the old ones?
Yes, I do, because
So much
otherwise
better.
I feel like it just takes away from the new Shield pack, and I think
Yeah.
they need to be the stars, not just Maria.
Well, I mean, it balances it out. I mean, it's just so much better to do it that way, in my opinion. I've tested it both ways, and I just really prefer it the other way.
Yeah, because you have an equal opportunity to actually get a different Shield Officer.
Yeah, exactly. So my next one, I definitely think you're going to agree with. It's going to be Wolverine.
Well, we're gonna do more than agree. We are going to be identical.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this card, he fuels himself so well, and having the ability to get rid of your wounds whenever you need to, and then just continuously draw cards. I mean, the base one is draw. They do require the fact that you have an instinct card that you played first, but every one of his cards is instinct, and they're cheap. They're 2, 3, 5, and I mean the rare is 8, of course, but the rare is just busted because I mean, first thing you do is draw 3 cards, and then if you played an instinct hero already, which you're going to have, you get to have +1 for each extra card that you've drawn that turn.
He is a cheap, powerful, and efficient hero.
Yes.
100% the most OP of the base set, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I would even go so far as to say one of the most OP in the entire game still, even with the whole expansions.
Yeah. My last one that I have from the base set, I'll let you, I mean, go ahead and throw another one out there before I tell you mine.
I actually only have 3 from the base set.
Oh, okay, so that's it for you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Those were the top 3 for my base set.
Yeah.
I wanted to then go on more. I have extra expansion people, I think.
Yeah, I do too. I have one more from the base set that I was considering, but I'm just not sure whether or not it's good enough by itself to justify calling it like part of this group. And that one would be Cyclops.
I actually glossed over him and thought the same thing.
Yeah, because honestly, his rare really outweighs the negatives of having to discard cards, because the fact of the matter that you get +2 for every X-Men hero that you played previously that turn, and his base tech already is 6, is just so good. And I mean, the reason that I'm so iffy about putting him in this group, though, is because he works so well with other heroes. Like, if you're using Angel, he works phenomenally well with that. Or if you're using Gladiator Hulk, he works awesome with that one.
I guess that's the thing that's what I was considering when I looked over at Cyclops was I never play Cyclops by himself, and I could never see myself playing Cyclops by himself.
Yeah, the discard cost can just be too much to make it so that you're actually using it that much. So
especially in the initial rounds of your game where you still need every single 1-point card that you still have.
Yeah. That's kind of why in the expansions why I didn't include Cable. Because Cable's really good, but I mean, without other cards around him, he's just not quite there.
Which is funny considering I feel like Cable is always shown as a loner.
Yeah.
And yet he needs other heroes.
X-Force.
Exactly.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into our other ones then. So you go ahead and throw one out. And like we said previously, these are in no particular order.
Okay. So to get things started, and probably gonna slightly contradict what you just said about Thor, I'm going with Lady Thor.
Okay. All right. I think I know why. Cheaper version of Thor.
Exactly. Take everything you said about Thor and just make it slightly cheaper.
Yeah.
And also easier to obtain the effects that you need to make it happen.
Okay.
For example, her common is once per turn if you made at least 6 stars this turn, draw a card. Thor's is you usually need 8.
Yep.
So it's harder to get to 8 stars, especially in the initial rounds of your game when you only have 8 shield agents to work off of.
Yeah.
Lady Thor, she just requires 6, and she gives you 2, mind you. She also gives you 2 recruit points. You're already a third of the way there.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that if you made at least 6 recruit that turn, you get to draw an additional card. That's really nice.
Right. So, and that's pretty much, I guess, my stance on it. It's the exact same things you said about Thor.
Okay.
She's cheaper and easier to use. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think she's really good. I like that she's multi-class as well. So she really fuels herself with that aspect.
Correct. The fact that I completely forgot to mention that, her multi-class aspect comes in handy as well.
Yeah, and I just like the character of Lady Thor.
The character and the concept, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah. Sticking to multi-class though, I think one of mine would be Captain Marvel.
Oh, I almost put her in. I was very tempted.
Yeah, and so
which Captain Marvel are we talking here?
We're talking about Secret Wars Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the reason that she's really good is because all of her cards are strength or range, and she's continuously fueling herself in terms of the fact that all of her cards, really work really well together. They synergize, and her rare is really easy to get, and it's an 11 attack rare because it's 2 strength and 2 range, and all of her cards are basically multi-class except for the common and uncommon. The uncommon and the one of the commons.
I completely forgot that. Her rare is so strong with just base attack alone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, and the common by itself, I love the fact that it's strength and also range, and that when you draw, you get to draw a card automatically, and it's just 1 attack. So really good, really cheap. My next one is going to be similar to that in that it's a lot more draw focused. It's going to be Ant-Man.
Ooh, I did not see that one coming. Do tell.
All right, so the reason I think that it's really good is number one, size changing makes it so it's really easy to acquire his other cards. Number two, its common is a size changing tech card, and so it would be 2 cost card. And I guarantee you're going to be playing another card if you played Ant-Man, and you get to draw a card automatically there. The other common that you have is 2 attack, but it's microscopic size changing, and so you get to discard a card and then draw a card. But the thing that really makes it really good is Giant Ego is going to be the uncommon card. It's 2 attack and it's size changing tech, but you get +1 for every extra card that you've drawn this turn. And so once you start getting a bunch of Ant-Man cards together, you can really, really make it so that you can get that pumped up really quickly.
I can see why you picked Ant-Man, and I can support it. He's not in my OP character list, yeah. But you definitely made me consider him.
Yeah. Yeah, and his rare is actually really good too. It's microscopic size changing with 5 techs next to it. And if you played a hero in the HQ with no size changing ability, gain size changing tech this turn. So and it's 5 attack.
And let's be clear, Ant-Man was one of the heroes that actually rocketed Ant-Man the box set up to such a high ranking for me. So yeah. I completely agree at how great he is.
Oh yeah, I know you do. All right, what's the next one for you?
So the next one for me is going to be Iceman from Dark City.
Hey, I got the same one.
Oh, really?
Of course. He's so good. Are you kidding me?
He is unbelievably good. So many draw cards, so many other cards that play off of his range hero class, and then so many cards that give him more recruit points for just playing another range hero. So his common, his 2 cost common, so cheap. You draw a card, and if you play a range hero, you get 1 recruit for each other range hero you played this turn. Yeah. Which, looking at his deck, you're gonna have other range heroes.
I personally think that if we were to put them in ranked order, I think this would be the number 1.
I don't know about that high, but he definitely would be in the top 3.
The fact of the matter is, in my opinion, it would be because the 2 cost card gives you +1 for every range hero that you played. And think about it, all of his cards are basically range except for the uncommon. The other common card gives you +1 attack for every range hero that you played, which then builds upon the previous card that you played. And then the uncommon lets you draw a card for every single range hero that you played that turn. So you could be drawing a massive number of cards.
Yeah. I would go far enough to say he'd be in top 2 for sure if we were ranking.
Yeah. And then the actual rare card, if I can think for a second. Is a 7 attack by itself. And if a villain or master strike or mastermind tactic would cause you to gain any wounds, you can discard any card and you can reveal this card instead. Or discard
Not
any
just
cards.
gain any wounds, but
Excuse me, gain any wounds or discard cards. You can reveal this card instead. So it just mitigates any risk.
Double insurance there.
Yeah, works really well.
Yeah, he is good. He is a good hero.
Yeah. After that, I would say my next one would be. It's tough. I don't know which one I want to discuss. I would say Bruce Banner.
I was expecting you to play Bruce Banner.
Of course, I'm going to play Bruce Banner. I mean, not only is he one of my favorite ones to use, but he has some really good keywords that I think really boost him up in terms of his power. So his common card is a 2-cost card that has 1 attack, and it has Outwit as the keyword, but it allows you to draw an additional card at the following turn. And so once you start building these up, let's say you have 3 or 4 of these, and let's say you have 3 of them in your hand, you're going to draw 3 additional cards the next turn, just like that Mr. Fantastic card that lets you spend Recruit to be able to get it. And the fact of the matter is that his 4-cost common is really good as well because it allows you to transform into Savage Hulk. And I mean, that's going to be smashing 4 every single time you're doing it. The only card... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I know how much of a fan you are of smashing and all of that, so I can see why he's here.
Yeah. The only card that I would say that would pull it back a little bit is the 6-cost uncommon. I just don't think it does quite enough to make it like really, really good. I think that he's kind of in that lower tier of like really good heroes. Because you play a tech hero and you get to reveal the top card of your deck, and if it costs 0, you KO it. And it's just a 3 attack card. So it's not insanely good, but it's good for deck thinning.
Yeah, and I think, I'm going to agree with you on that, especially because I always got the impression that card just seemed randomly placed in. It's almost like they ran out of ideas of what else they should do with him and just kind of stuck that ability in there.
It just kind of sits there when I play with that card. When I play with that set of cards.
There are better things you can buy for 6 costs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, well then, my next hero from the expansion sets, and it's actually one I just recently played in my last game, is going to be Polaris.
Okay, all right.
And hear me out on this. She's got she's got 2 keywords that I think work really well together, and really may reaffirm that I think piercing energy being one of the keywords can be useful if you can get the setup done correctly and quickly.
Yes.
And it's the fact that she has soaring flight as well.
Yep.
So you can buy her common, immediately get soaring flight, which is a better version of wall crawl in my opinion, because it's an extra card. It doesn't get put on top of your deck that you get it next turn. It's an extra card that you know you're going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're already set up with 2 more recruit right then and there, and you know it, to then be able to afford to buy her other common card, which is the Electromagnetic Pulse, which has piercing energy, which if you played a range hero before that, you can draw a card. And remember, I love piercing energy because usually most villains are pretty low, like they have lower victory points than they do attack points. Yeah. And you can use piercing energy to fight that instead.
Yeah. How awesome would it have been though if they would have made the rare, instead of being that you can use recruit as attack this turn, they said like you can use attack as piercing energy this turn.
That would have would have loved that.
That would have just blown it out of the water, right?
I can see why they wouldn't have done that, though, because that would have been too much.
It would have broken the game. Yeah. We got Polaris. Polaris is rare. Okay, you win this game. Let's go to the next game.
Exactly. And, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still love her rare, and I think her ability is great because you get 4 recruit, and if you want, you can use that 4 recruit as attack points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's still good. It's just that idea would be better.
Yeah, I do really like that common that she has as well. That if you played a covert hero, you're able to draw an additional card the following turn. That's kind of nice.
Exactly. And then her uncommon is also a covert hero with soaring flight. But you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and you can KO one acting as a deck thinner. Mm-hmm. You can KO one of them or put the rest back in any order. So you can it helps to manipulate your deck that way as well.
Yeah.
So I think another X-Men hero that encompasses that idea, she can totally stand alone by herself.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So my next one is going to be from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. set, and I think you know who it is. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess. I haven't got a clue.
Mockingbird. Mockingbird. Are you kidding me? Mockingbird is
Okay. Yeah,
really
I can
good.
see that.
Yeah, Mockingbird is really good. Once you start fueling that shield level, I mean, you get some of her good cards, like her uncommon, if you picked up her rare as well. I mean, you can start fueling your deck really easily. Her base common card is a 4-cost card, but it's shield level 2, and that's really easy to get if you're playing with Mockingbird. Because shield level 2 means you basically have 2 shield cards in your hero, in your victory pile. And so you get to draw a card for that, and it has 2 attack. So that's really good. The uncommon card is awesome because it's basically just a reduced version of the actual rare. You get to choose one of the abilities. You get to send a card from the shield officer stack undercover, or you get +1 for every 2 shield levels you have. So you can either continue to fuel your shield levels, or you can just continually build up your attack points. You can have attack points. The great thing about it is, though, is that the rare allows you to draw a card every turn. It has a recruit icon and an attack icon. You get to send 2 cards from your shield officer stack undercover. Then you get +1 recruit and +1 attack for every 2 shield levels that you have. So the uncommon and the rare work really, really well together.
So I'm going to ask a question
Sure.
and play devil's advocate. By no means belittling Mockingbird because I love this card.
You're not mocking her?
I'm not mocking her. No.
Oh.
Stop being such a dad. Do you think the fact that she has to rely on undercover, which is other cards that have to go into the victory pile, is a hindrance? Like,
Not
does
at
that
all.
prevent her from being a solo?
Not at all. Because
Okay.
she is self-contained in that she can send them both. I mean, she can continuously send them from the stack, regardless of the fact, like, I mean, you don't have to play another card in order for her ability to work. She has that ability built in.
Okay. Accepted. I was hesitant on with like putting a lot of any shield heroes in any of my discussion right here,
Yeah.
Because of that reason alone.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you included that because just forewarning, I have none.
Yeah. And I mean, because that's a mechanic within like that set of cards, I think that it is included in this discussion. So yeah. So who is next for you?
So my next one is going to be.
How many do you have left?
I still have 3 left.
Oh wow. Okay, I have 1 left.
Okay, so then I'm gonna do 2.
Okay.
Okay, so my first of my 2 is Darkhawk.
Okay, Darkhawk. I love Darkhawk.
I love Darkhawk, and I think Darkhawk is a great hero just by himself because this is a hero that gives you the opportunity of getting either recruit or attack points, like with almost all of his cards. And when I say almost, I mean all of his cards.
Yeah.
Because he's got that double recruit, double attack icon,
Yep.
and for his common, first off, you're going to get 1 recruit and 1 attack. But if you play attack hero, you can also draw a card.
Yeah.
Pretty good deal for only 3.
Mm-hmm.
For only costing 3. His next common is you get to choose recruit or attack, and then hyper speed 4 for that icon. Yeah. Yes, hyper speed is a little bit of a gamble, but the fact that I can actually choose which of the icons I'm going to go with, recruit or attack. And if I'm only buying Darkhawk, it's a pretty safe bet I'm going to get either one of those because he's got both recruit and attack. Builds off of each other.
Yeah.
And then his rare. Whenever you use hyperspeed this turn, you get both recruit from recruit icons and attack from attack icons. It's just, in my opinion,
so good.
It's just broken. If you're only doing Darkhawk, it is broken. Because then you then hyperspeed 7.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then once you start actually putting him in with games, like it has synergy with other characters. Oh my gosh, it gets so good. Like Quicksilver, I mean, or Hellcat. I mean, dude, it gets crazy.
Even Domino. Domino also has.
Yeah, Domino too, or Lady Thor even. I mean,
exactly.
There's a bunch of them. So
yeah, Darkhawk.
Yeah, I can agree with that completely. I can agree with that.
Thank you. I feel very reassured now.
You should.
and going off of that, I'm going to roll on to my next one, it's Havoc.
Nope, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. I just had to take you down like a rung on the ladder. Just be. He's like, oh, I feel so good about my picks, and now I'm just not.
Hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening.
Havoc is all range except for one.
Mm-hmm.
One, his rare is tech, which I really don't get, but whatever. We'll get to that later. Havoc is all range. He uses the keywords. He uses multiple keywords, so you got a lot of versatility there. Like the keywords are Light Show, X Gene, and Berserk.
Mm-hmm.
We will ignore Light Show because Light Show is Light Show.
Light Show. I hate it.
Yeah. But the card that has Light Show, which is his common, it gives you 2 recruit, and then if you can make Light Show work, you get 3 additional attacks. So you're getting that recruit and attack combo going on.
Blah. That's all I have to say. Blah.
Okay,
Light
fine.
Show.
Moving on, then he has his Berserk cards, which is his other common. Where you have to discard a card from your hand, but then you also Berserk, potentially adding more attack points. Which, if you've been buying Havocs, you're going to have only attack points that make him stronger.
Yeah.
Which then feeds into his uncommon, which has X Gene, where if you have a range hero in your discard pile, which you probably will, you get 1 attack for each range card in your discard pile.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with him being all range, you are definitely going to be able to build off of this.
That's true. I just don't like
it
very much.
I know. we're clearly at an impasse on this one, but
that's okay. It's okay to be wrong. All right, so my last one is going to be one that I know is one of the best ones that we've used in many playthroughs. He's been one that I know is a favorite of many people out there. That they continuously play with this one. Every game they think about it. It's gonna be Hawkeye.
That's cute. It's not Hawkeye.
It's not Hawkeye. It's Star-Lord.
Yeah. I knew you were going to do that. You would be right to add Hawkeye, but you're wrong in the sense of it should be Star-Lord because that's also my last one.
Yeah, Star-Lord is probably the best character besides Iceman in this game. The fact of the matter is that the artifact mechanic is just so good.
The fact that it's he has the artifact mechanic for. I'm actually going to start from his uncommon and work my way down.
Yeah.
His uncommon artifact is once per turn, draw a card.
Yeah.
Your hand is now a 7-card hand for the rest of the game.
Yeah, every single turn. I mean, that card by itself, I think, puts it into the top tier category.
So completely correct.
Yeah.
And then let's go down to his commons. The covert common where you get to choose an artifact any player controls, which means yourself, and once per turn with a once per turn ability, and play a copy of one of those abilities.
Yeah. How sweet is it?
Copy everything.
How sweet is it though when you have multiple artifacts out there and maybe you've got a couple of Infinity Gems, things like that, and then you have Star-Lord's rare, and then you have one of those covert commons from Star-Lord. So you get that many shards from Star-Lord's rare. Let's say you get 6 of them, and then you play this covert hero for 4 cost. You get 2 recruit, and you get 6 more shards. So you have 12 attack just from those 2 cards in one turn. So good.
Congratulations, you've won the game.
Yeah, exactly, right? Unless you're playing against Onslaught, in which case we never win.
No one wins against Onslaught. Yeah. You just cower in fear and wait for the end.
Now we're going to get 60 links to games of people winning against Onslaught.
Good. Prove to me that there's hope in this game. Yeah. I need some.
Right. No joke. So what do you guys think about our picks for our OP heroes? Again, this is just our opinion. We're having fun with it. So, and again, these aren't ranked in any particular order, except for I would say Star-Lord. Star-Lord is probably top.
Star-Lord would be top. I would, yes.
Yeah. So we didn't discuss it, but what did you want to do next time for our podcast?
I think since we were all kind of briefly talking about it, let's go ahead and bring out the most OP let's do the must-buy rare cards. If you see a rare come up, this is the one you need to get.
Cool. We can do that. Must-buy rares. And then we'll do a top 10 rare next time, I guess. And so we have some other ideas we were talking about as well. If you guys have any other ideas, let us know. Some of the ideas we had are where does the game go from here in terms of the villains, heroes, mechanics, different masterminds we want, schemes, or missed opportunities that we've seen in the game that we wish would have been changed. So we can also do prediction videos for what we think is going to be in the next sets that are coming up. And then one that I want to do is the top 5 heroes per class in terms of like either our favorite heroes or top 5 most powerful heroes per class that you would want to use if you're setting up a game.
I'm honestly going to look at that also in the sense of why is this hero in this class? Because there are a couple of heroes
Oh
that got
yeah.
that class. I'm like, how is that a thing?
Yeah, yeah, that would be a good idea too. So, like I said, make sure you guys let us know in the comments below. We're glad to be able to do the podcast again. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.